This is ABC 7 News in New York City. We interrupt your regular programming for some breaking news coming out of the Bronx. According to the New York Times, threats have been made at Yankee Stadium for tomorrow's game between the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. It is currently unknown who made these threats, but the New York Police Department along with the FBI will investigate this situation, and will find the person or persons who made these threats. According to the article, an unknown individual posted this statement via Twitter and stated, "I, along with my friends, are going to shoot up Yankee Stadium tomorrow. You all are not ready for the ultimate killing spree." Even though the Yankees are aware of this threat, they still plan to hold tomorrow's game against the Red Sox as scheduled, but will implement tighter security measures for the safety of the public. This is currently trending all over Twitter now, as people are freaking out due to this situation. Some people have even gone as far as not going to the game tomorrow at all for their own safety. Live just outside Yankee Stadium is my correspondent Allison. Allison, how are things doing?
I am currently outside of Yankee Stadium where things are okay now. Right now, nothing is going on as the Yankees and Red Sox don't play until 7 p.m. tonight, as this is their third game of a 4-game series held at Yankee Stadium, with the fourth game happening tomorrow, with games first pitch at just after 1 p.m. The Yankees and Red Sox split the first two meetings of the series, with the Yankees winning the first and the Red Sox winning the second. All things aside, officials at Yankee Stadium have tightened security for tomorrow's game due to these threats, and people should take this seriously. Many people have already sold their tickets for tomorrow's game due to them being scared to go due to this situation. This only applies for tomorrow's game, as the threat specifically speaks for tomorrow and not today. In addition, the New York Police Department, along with the FBI, are looking into this situation, and are trying to find the person responsible for this threat. They hope to arrest this person as soon as possible. This is Allison, from ABC 7 News.
Thank you, Allison. In other news, Mayor Bill de Blasio has tightened security at all public events tomorrow in New York City as a precaution, in response to the threat at Yankee Stadium. He stated that the safety of the people is the main priority for going out into public, as you never know what is going to happen. This is ABC 7 News, with a breaking story. We now switch to regular programming.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the New York Police Department. A hostage situation is currently taking place at Yankee Stadium, during an ongoing baseball game between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. At approximately 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 5 armed men have entered the stadium, and are currently opening fire all around the stadium, and are roaming around the stadium taking several fans attending the game and people working at the ballpark hostage. The New York Police Department have arrived at the scene, and are currently dealing with this situation. The demands of these men are currently unknown at this time. Due to the situation, Yankee Stadium is being evacuated at this time, and the rest of the game between the Yankees and the Red Sox has been cancelled. In addition, Yankee Stadium will be closed until this situation is under control. As a precaution, all residents within a 5-mile radius of the stadium are strongly advised to stay away from the area, and remain indoors, and lock all of your windows and doors, as these men may exit the stadium at any time. Do not approach these men, as they are armed and extremely dangerous, as these men have been seen carrying AK-47 rifles. Please stay tuned to this station for more information on this dangerous situation.
This is NBC4 News serving the New York City area. We interrupt our regular programming for some breaking news coming out of the Bronx. Shots have been fired at Yankee Stadium during a Major League Baseball game between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. According to reports, 5 armed men with AK-47 rifles entered the stadium, and are shooting at anyone attending the game, and are also taking hostages as well. Due to this situation, Major League Baseball has canceled the rest of this game, and it is likely that it will not be made up. Yankee Stadium is also being evacuated, and will be closed until further notice. It is believed that one of the men made threats yesterday on Twitter for shooting up Yankee Stadium is actually involved in this attack, and apparently the tightened security that stadium officials made yesterday wasn't tight enough, as the men acted as if they were regular fans entering the game, not telling security they didn't have any weapons in their bags. Live outside of Yankee Stadium is my correspondent Joey Brown. Joey, how are things going as of now?
I am currently live outside of Yankee Stadium, where it is absolute chaos. People are currently running away from the stadium as these 5 armed men are shooting at anyone they see. Many people have got out of the stadium uninjured, but the people these men took hostage are still in the stadium, and it is unknown what their current conditions are. It is already believed that there are multiple casualties due to this situation. The New York Police Department is at the scene to deal with the situation. These men are still in the stadium shooting anyone that is left inside. Players from both the Yankees and the Red Sox are still in their clubhouses, and they are currently safe at this time. The stadium will be closed until further notice. The NYPD is already calling this as an act of terrorism. People within a 5-mile radius of the stadium should avoid the area, and should remain in your homes with your windows and doors locked, as these men may exit the stadium at any time. This is Joey, from NBC4 News New York. Back over to you, Matthew.
Thank you, Joey. In other news, Mayor Bill de Blasio might put New York City under lockdown if these men exit the stadium for the safety of the public. This is NBC4 News, with a breaking story. We will now return to regular programming.
civil danger for New York City. The following message is transmitted at the request of the New York Police Department. Residents of New York City, lock all of your doors immediately. The 5 men that took hostages at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx are currently in Midtown Manhattan and are opening fire on anyone they see in their path. It has been confirmed that the shooting at Yankee Stadium is an act of terrorism. The New York Police Department, along with SWAT teams, have arrived at the scene to deal with this situation. In addition, a citywide manhunt is underway due to the situation. As a precaution, all residents of New York City should remain indoors with all of your windows and doors locked. Do not approach these terrorists as they are armed and extremely dangerous. The demands of these men are currently unknown at this time. It is also unknown if these men are working alone or with a terrorist group. The FBI will investigate this matter. If you all of a sudden approach these men, put your hands over your head, and do not make any sudden movements, and follow their commands. Please tune to local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the New York Police Department. At approximately 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a large propane bomb was detonated at the Grand Central Terminal located on 89 East 42nd Street. Massive damage has been reported to the rail station, along with multiple casualties already being reported. It is believed that this is the work of the 5 terrorists that caused a shooting at Yankee Stadium about an hour ago, and killing innocent civilians on the streets of Manhattan. In addition, a large fire as a result of the explosion has also been reported at the Grand Central Terminal. The New York City Fire Department has been called in to extinguish this fire. All residents living within a half-mile of the Grand Central Terminal are strongly advised to leave the area immediately. Do not enter this area under any circumstances. If you do so, you will be arrested or held in detention without legal counsel. Do not approach these terrorists as they are extremely armed and dangerous. It is likely that these men will carry out more attacks in the New York City area. It is also believed that these men have escaped the explosion site, and it is unknown where their current location is at this time. Please stay tuned to this station for more information on this dangerous situation. Immediate evacuation for New York City and surrounding areas. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The following message is transmitted at the request of the New York Police Department and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The terrorists who were causing chaos in New York City, including a shooting at Yankee Stadium and detonating a propane bomb at the Grand Central Terminal, have stated that they have a nuclear device in their possession and will detonate it in Midtown Manhattan if their demands are not met within the next hour. Due to this, the bomb squad has been called in to try to defuse this weapon. As a precaution, all residents within a 50-mile radius of New York City are strongly advised to evacuate the area immediately. When evacuating, make sure you tie a white-colored cloth or towel to your door or mailbox to show authorities that you have safely left the area. Do not use the towel if you need assistance. Should you require assistance, emergency management and law enforcement officials will escort you to the nearest pickup point. Make sure you have essential supplies such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a fully charged cell phone chargers, toiletries, and a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio to last you and your family for at least 14 days. Make sure you turn off all heating and air conditioning systems, close and lock all windows and doors, shut off all gas, and seal up any cracks on doors and windows with tape or damp towels before you leave your house. Do not pick up relatives from hospitals or nursing homes, as these facilities have their own procedures and will act on them accordingly. Try to take only one car per family, if possible. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks. Prolonged exposure to fallout will cause radiation sickness and death if not treated properly. It will only take a minute for the effects of fallout to spread. Most importantly, do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse than it already is. Evacuate now. I repeat, evacuate now. If you do not evacuate, you will face certain death from radioactive fallout. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. Civil danger warning. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. At approximately 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a nuclear bomb was detonated in Midtown Manhattan in New York City, New York. The entire city has been completely destroyed, and there are likely thousands of casualties. It has been confirmed that this is the weapon that the 5 terrorists planted in Manhattan. In addition, the terrorists have died in the explosion. At this time, all residents receiving this message are strongly advised to seek a fallout shelter now. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks. Prolonged exposure to fallout will result in radiation sickness and death if not treated properly. It will only take a minute after impact for the effects of fallout to spread. Take essential supplies for your shelter, such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a fully charged cell phone chargers, toiletries, and a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for at least 14 days. If you cannot find a fallout shelter, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Stay away from windows, doors, and outside walls. If you are outside, or in a vehicle, find the nearest open space or ditch, and cover your head with your hands, to protect yourself from flying debris. Make sure your shelter has as few doors and windows as possible. Seal all cracks on doors and windows with tape or damp towels, to prevent radioactive fallout from entering your shelter. Do not use elevators to find shelter, if you are in a hotel or other multi-story building. You will be trapped inside, if the power goes out. Use the stairwells instead. Place as many objects between you and the outside world as possible. Do not leave your shelter until it is declared safe to do so. If you leave your shelter, you could be exposing yourself to radioactive fallout. Stay tuned to local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Chicago Police Department. A hostage situation is currently taking place at City Hall. At approximately 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 5 armed men stormed the building and are currently taking 50 people hostage, including the mayor of Chicago. These men are threatening to kill all of the hostages if their demands are not met. The FBI is currently investigating if this is similar to the attacks in New York City yesterday. The Chicago Police Department have arrived at the scene to deal with this situation. As a precaution, all roads within a quarter-mile radius of City Hall are closed until further notice. All residents within a half-mile radius of City Hall should stay away from the area and remain indoors with all of your windows and doors locked, as these men may exit the area at any time. Do not approach these men as they are armed and extremely dangerous, and have been seen carrying AR-15 rifles. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this developing situation.
Good afternoon, I am your host Kimberly Patterson. We interrupt your regular programming for some breaking news coming out of City Hall. Apparently 5 armed men have stormed the building and are currently taking 50 people hostage, including Mayor Lori Lightfoot. This was during one of their weekly meetings. Chicago police are at the scene to deal with the situation. They have also closed down roads within a quarter-mile radius of City Hall until this situation is under control. In addition, the FBI is currently investigating if this is similar to the attacks in New York City yesterday. There are rumors going around that this is actually true, but this cannot be confirmed at this time. Due to the severity of this situation, we have no news reporter near the police scene as roads near City Hall are closed down for everyone's safety. However, we have a reporter live in downtown Chicago who is at a good distance away from City Hall. How is the situation going right now?
I am live near Millennium Park where things are currently okay, unlike the situation at City Hall. The police who are at the scene are currently in a shootout with the 5 men just outside the building. The hostages are still trapped inside City Hall and the men say they will kill all of them if their demands are not met. In addition, there are rumors going around that the men have a biological weapon in their possession and will detonate it at City Hall, but these rumors are false at this time. No one is allowed within a quarter-mile radius of City Hall, and this area is for police and emergency services only. If anyone attempts to enter the area, they will be arrested or held in detention without legal counsel. The Chicago Police Department is also asking that people within a half-mile radius of City Hall to stay indoors and to lock all of their windows and doors for their own safety, as these men may exit the area at any time. The police are also setting up a police blockade within a half-mile radius of City Hall so these men won't cause any more harm and destruction to Chicago. I am starting to believe that this attack is similar to the attacks in New York City yesterday, and this is the work of an unknown terrorist organization.
Hello, you pitiful fucking cowards. My name is Matthew Davis, the leader of the now dubbed domestic terrorist organization, the Natural-Born Killers of America. We may be from America, but me and my men fucking hate this absolute shit show of a country. We want to kill the president, make our own laws, and make our own government and constitution exclusively on our beliefs only. You peasants must follow our orders, or we will fucking kill you. We will also detonate weapons of mass destruction to make you all suffer through pain and destruction. We have a biological weapon containing a virus that could cause a pandemic. We detonated a nuclear weapon in New York yesterday, and also we are planning to attack Los Angeles by releasing sarin gas there, and we will storm the White House to kill the president. You are all not ready for this. Heya 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 heya. You all are going to fucking die.
Civil danger for the city of Chicago. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Chicago Police Department. The false rumors of the 5 men threatening to detonate a biological weapon in Chicago is now true. This has been confirmed by police officials that were near the area. In addition, it has been confirmed that the attack today in Chicago and the attacks in New York City yesterday are indeed caused by a domestic terrorist organization, identified as the Natural-Born Killers of America or NBKA. News stations across the United States were hacked by the leader of this group, identified as 32-year-old Matthew Davis, a white male, 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighs 200 pounds, has a muscular build, and has brown hair and brown eyes. The identities of his accomplices are unknown at this time. All residents of the city of Chicago are strongly advised to remain indoors with all of your windows and doors locked. It is unknown where the location of the 5 men who took hostages at City Hall is at this time, but they are presumed to be anywhere in Chicago, due to the fact that they have broken the police blockade that was set up a half-mile from City Hall. Do not approach these terrorists as they are armed and extremely dangerous, and will kill anyone on sight. If you are suddenly approached by these men, put your hands over your head, and do not make any sudden movements. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Chicago Police Department and the Chicago Department of Public Health. At approximately 1:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a biological agent has been detonated near Millennium Park. This explosion has released an unknown virus into the air. Nothing is known about this virus, including transmission, symptoms, incubation period, and mortality rate. This is the same weapon that was planted by 5 terrorists that took hostages at City Hall earlier. However, people near the explosion have fell ill with this virus. As a precaution, all residents of Chicago are strongly advised to remain in your homes at this time. Turn off all heating and air conditioning systems and seal all cracks on doors and windows, as it is possible that this virus is airborne. After the weapon was detonated, the 5 terrorists were killed in a shootout with Chicago police outside of Millennium Park. The threat that remains is the unknown virus spreading around the city of Chicago. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Chicago Police Department and the Chicago Department of Public Health. Many hospitals across the city of Chicago are being overwhelmed with patients coming in with an unknown, highly contagious virus. This is the same virus that was released from a biological weapon that was detonated just outside of Millennium Park about 45 minutes ago. Approximately 300 cases of this new virus have been confirmed by the Chicago Health Department. Symptoms of this virus include, but are not limited to the following: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, high fever, chills, coughing, sneezing, headache, sore throat, runny nose, congestion, body aches, and fatigue. The incubation period of this virus is usually 3 to 5 days, with a mortality rate of 0.5%. In more severe cases, especially in the elderly, young children, and people with underlying medical conditions, it can cause shortness of breath, pneumonia, and death by lung failure. This virus spreads in many ways. These include, through the air, being in close contact with another person, respiratory droplets, and uncontaminated surfaces. Due to the spread of this virus, and the potential for a large-scale outbreak, the mayor of Chicago has instituted a citywide stay-at-home order until further notice. You can only leave your home for essential purposes. These include going to work, exercising, and visiting family that may need assistance. Do not leave for non-essential purposes, as this puts you and your loved ones at high risk for contracting the virus. All non-essential businesses, such as schools, restaurants, and bars, fitness centers, theaters, salons, spas, museums, shopping centers, bowling alleys, airports, and sporting and concert venues will be closed until further notice. To prevent the spread of this virus, you are advised to take the following precautions. Wash your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds, after touching the eyes or mouth, or after going to the bathroom. Maintain a safe distance from other people, especially to those that are infected. Avoid touching the face, eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid physical contact with infected people, such as high fives, hugs, and fist bumps. Frequently clean surfaces after use. Do not touch anything that has been used by another person, especially if it hasn't been cleaned. Cover your coughs and sneezes, either with a tissue or into your arm. Avoid large gatherings of 50 or more people. If you believe you are infected with this virus, you are advised to take the following precautions. Stay home and quarantine for at least 7 to 14 days. Wear a mask to prevent infecting others in your household. Maintain social distancing from the people in your house. If you or one of your loved ones are experiencing severe complications associated with this virus, seek medical attention immediately. Try to take yourself to a hospital if they are still allowing people in. If your local hospital is full, try to take yourself to a doctor's office for treatment. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Chicago Police Department. Mass rioting, looting, and civil unrest have been reported in the city of Chicago and surrounding areas. People that are participating in these riots are causing massive damage to property, injuries, fatalities, and even fires. The cause of these riots is believed to be the stay-at-home order that was just issued recently, to prevent the spread of an unknown highly contagious virus that came from a biological weapon about an hour ago. The Chicago Police Department, along with the Illinois National Guard, have been deployed to deal with this situation. As a precaution, remain in your homes and close and lock all windows and doors. The stay-at-home order is in effect until further notice. Do not approach these rioters as they are extremely dangerous, as some rioters have even been seen with firearms. If one of the rioters enter your home, use armed protection by all means. This includes lethal force. Do not participate in the riots. I repeat, do not participate in the riots. If you do so, you will be arrested or shot on sight by the National Guard. In addition, these riots can be spreading the virus even further, as it is likely that there will be a massive increase in cases due to this situation, as people have been gathering in large crowds, not social distancing, and not wearing masks. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
Oh shit, here we go again.
This is ABC 7 News, serving the Chicago area. I am your host, Julie Leonard. We interrupt our programming to bring you a breaking story coming out of Chicago. A biological weapon has detonated in the city of Chicago near Millennium Park. The explosion has released an unknown, highly contagious virus into the air. As many as 750 cases of this new virus have been confirmed by the Chicago Department of Public Health.
Due to the spread of this virus and the potential for a large-scale outbreak, Mayor Lori Lightfoot has issued a citywide stay-at-home order until further notice. You need to watch out for the following symptoms: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, high fever, chills, coughing, sneezing, headache, sore throat, runny nose, congestion, body aches, and fatigue. However, it can cause shortness of breath, pneumonia, and death in the elderly, children, and people with past medical conditions. The virus has an incubation period of 3 to 5 days, and has a mortality rate of 0.5%. However, we are receiving report that mass rioting, looting, and civil unrest have broken out in the Chicago area. This is due to the stay-at-home order to prevent the spread of this new virus. People must only leave for essential purposes only. All non-essential businesses are closed until further notice. People participating in the riots are causing massive damage, casualties, and even fires. The Chicago Police Department and the Illinois National Guard have been called in to deal with this situation. Health experts around Chicago are increasingly concerned that these riots could spread the virus into surrounding suburbs due to people gathering in large crowds, not social distancing, and not wearing masks. We have a reporter live in downtown Chicago. How is the situation right now?
I am live in Chicago, and it is absolutely chaos. These rioters are extremely angry that the stay-at-home order was issued for the city, and they are causing massive damage to property, casualties, and even fires. Many people are calling the stay-at-home order tyranny, and is taking away their freedom. The Chicago Police Department has already arrested multiple people, while the Illinois National Guard shot many more civilians. Multiple casualties have already been reported due to this situation. Due to the riots, not only people have to stay home to prevent the spread of this virus, but to lock all windows and doors to prevent rioters from entering your home. A citywide curfew has been put in effect from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., effective immediately. Everyone must be in their homes by 9 o'clock. Anyone that is outside past curfew will be arrested and held in detention without legal counsel. Not only the large amount of people gathering, not social distancing, and not wearing masks are worrying local health experts, police have also been seen throwing tear gas at people rioting out in the streets. This increases the risk of spreading the virus because people that had tear gas thrown at them were coughing profusely, thus increasing the risk of transmission by a country mile. This situation feels eerily similar to the coronavirus pandemic back in 2020, due to the restrictions and shutting down everything for the public's safety. This riot is also eerily similar to the Black Lives Matter protests that took place 3 years ago due to people rioting during a virus outbreak. However, these riots are due to the stay-at-home order, not due to racism. People, please stay home, as it is too dangerous outside, as we have a double threat on our hands. Back over to you, Julie.
Thank you. I agree that this situation feels similar to the coronavirus pandemic and the Black Lives Matter protests that took place 3 years ago. A big conspiracy theory that everyone is saying that this virus is a new strain of COVID-19, due to both viruses having similar symptoms, mortality rate, incubation period, methods of transmission, and similar ways of preventing the spread of both viruses. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has proved this theory false, as they said this is a completely new virus. In other news, there are fears of a global pandemic due to this virus, but the World Health Organization, along with the Department of Health and Human Services, say that the risk of a global pandemic is very low. Everyone, please stay safe, and especially, stay home. This is Julie Leonard, from ABC 7 News Chicago. We will now switch to regular programming.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Anaheim Police Department. A hostage situation is currently taking place at the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim. At approximately 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 5 armed men have entered the theme park, and are currently opening fire on innocent civilians, and are roaming around the theme park taking several hundred hostages. The Anaheim Police Department have arrived at the scene, and are dealing with this situation. The men are threatening to kill all of the hostages, and detonate an explosive device at the theme park, if their demands are not met. It is almost assumed that these 5 men are part of the domestic terrorist cell known as the Natural-Born Killers of America, and it is very likely that the situation is similar to the attacks that took place in New York City and Chicago over the last 2 days. As a precaution, Disneyland is currently being evacuated, and the amusement park will be closed indefinitely, or until the situation is under control. All residents living within a half-mile radius of Disneyland should stay away from the area, and remain vigilant at this time. Do not enter this area under any circumstances, as you will be putting your life in extreme danger, and you could be arrested. Guests currently at the park should go to their hotels, and stay in your rooms until further notice. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this developing situation.
This is KTLA 5 News, serving the greater Los Angeles area. I am your host Dave Jones. We currently have some breaking news coming out of Anaheim. Shots have been fired at the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim. According to multiple reports, 5 armed men have entered the theme park, and are shooting at innocent civilians, and are taking hundreds of hostages, including guests and park employees. The Anaheim Police Department have arrived at the scene to deal with this situation. It is assumed that this is the work of the Natural-Born Killers of America, as this attack is similar to attacks that took place in New York and Chicago over the last 2 days. Disneyland is currently being evacuated, and it will be shut down until further notice. We have a reporter live just outside of the theme park. How is the situation doing as of now?
I am currently just outside of the Disneyland theme park, and it is absolutely chaos out here. Many people are running out of the theme park in fear as these 5 men are mercilessly shooting at anyone they see in their path. Guests staying at hotels were forced to go back to their rooms and are being told to stay there until further notice. The happiest place on earth has turned into an epicenter of chaos, death, and destruction. Police have tried to contain these men and have been unsuccessful. The men are still shooting anyone they see in their path and taking more people hostage. No one is allowed to enter the park for any reason, as the area is only reserved for police and emergency services. In addition, the 5 men have an explosive device in their possession, and will detonate it at the theme park if their demands are not met. The bomb squad has been called to the area to try to defuse this device. People living within a half-mile radius of Disneyland have been asked to remain vigilant at this time, and are also being told to stay away from the area. Back over to you, Dave.
Thanks for the information. Please stay safe out there. In other news, President Biden is considering lockdowns in many major cities throughout the United States, as he is believing that more attacks of this nature may occur in many areas. He is doing this to protect the American people from unwanted terrorism. This is Dave Jones, from KTLA 5 News, with a breaking story. We will now switch to regular programming.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the California Highway Patrol. Police are currently involved in high-speed pursuit with the stolen 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk with California license plate UG8123. This vehicle is carrying the 5 terrorists who took hostages at Disneyland 30 minutes ago, and is currently traveling on Interstate 5 north towards Los Angeles. These men have been seen firing at motorists traveling on the highway, and have already caused multiple car accidents, leading to several casualties. In addition, the bomb squad was successful in defusing the explosive device at Disneyland. However, these men pose an extreme threat for the greater Los Angeles area, and could be planning an attack on the city of Los Angeles. As a precaution, all residents of the city of Los Angeles are advised to return to your homes immediately, and close and lock all windows and doors. If you are currently on Interstate 5 north towards Los Angeles, get off the highway immediately, and find an alternate route to your destination. Interstate 5 north towards Los Angeles has been closed to the public, to allow safe passage of this pursuit. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Los Angeles Police Department. At approximately 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, an unknown, toxic gas has been released into the air in downtown Los Angeles. At least 50 people have been exposed to this gas. Hazmat teams have been deployed to the area to deal with this situation. As a precaution, all residents of Los Angeles should remain indoors, and turn off all heating and air conditioning systems, as well as to seal all cracks on doors and windows with tape or damp towels, to prevent this gas from entering your home. Do not go outside, unless if it is absolutely necessary. If you must go outside, wear a gas mask, to prevent inhaling the gas. The Los Angeles Police Department believe that this is the work of the 5 terrorists who caused a mass shooting at Disneyland and shot multiple motorists on Interstate 5 during a high-speed pursuit with the California Highway Patrol. This cannot be confirmed at this time. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this developing situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Los Angeles Police Department. It has been confirmed that the unknown gas that has been released into downtown Los Angeles 15 minutes ago is from a chemical agent called sarin. Sarin is an extremely toxic synthetic organophosphorus compound, and it is extremely lethal to humans due to its extreme potency as a nerve agent. Death can occur within 1 to 10 minutes of exposure, even if inhaling a slight amount of the gas. It has also been confirmed that this is the work of the 5 terrorists who have caused chaos in the Los Angeles metropolitan area over the last hour. Multiple casualties have already been reported due to the situation, and many hospitals around the Los Angeles area are overflowing with people that have been exposed to sarin gas. Exposure to sarin gas has multiple symptoms. These include, but are not limited to the following: runny nose, watery eyes, small, pinpoint pupils, eye pain, blurred vision, drooling, excessive sweating, coughing, chest tightness, rapid breathing, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, increased urination, confusion, drowsiness, weakness, headache, slow or fast heart rate, and a low or high blood pressure. If exposed to a large amount of sarin, it can cause loss of consciousness, convulsions, paralysis, and respiratory failure leading to death. Hazmat teams have been deployed to the area to deal with this situation. All residents of the city of Los Angeles are strongly advised to shelter in place immediately. To shelter in place, you are advised to do the following instructions. Find an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, preferably a basement or room with as few doors and windows as possible. Close and lock all windows and doors from the inside. Turn off all heating and air conditioning systems. Close all fireplace dampers. And seal all cracks on doors and windows with tape or damp towels. Take essential supplies for your shelter, such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a fully charged cell phone chargers, toiletries, and a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for the duration of this emergency. Do not go outside for any reason, as you will face almost certain death from inhaling sarin gas. If you are caught outside, you will be arrested or shot by the National Guard. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
This is ABC 7 News, serving the Los Angeles area. I am your host, Kate Jackson. We interrupt our regular programming with some breaking news coming out of Los Angeles. 5 terrorists who have had a history of causing chaos throughout the Los Angeles metropolitan area have released sarin gas in downtown Los Angeles. Sarin is an extremely potent nerve agent which is extremely lethal in humans, and can kill within 1 to 10 minutes, even after inhaling a small amount of the gas. Reports believe that there are hundreds of casualties due to the situation, and many hospitals around the area have been overflowing with people experiencing the symptoms of sarin poisoning. The LAPD has ordered all residents of Los Angeles to shelter in place until further notice. A report has said that the 5 terrorists fled from the scene from the site of the release, and a manhunt is underway for these men. We hope that these men are caught soon, as they are presumed to be anywhere in Los Angeles, still at large. Due to the severity of the situation, we have no news reporter in Los Angeles. Please stay safe and shelter in place until this situation is brought under control. This is ABC 7 News, with a breaking story. We will now switch to regular programming.
An administrative message from the Los Angeles Police Department. The 5 terrorists who released sarin gas in Los Angeles, as well as causing a mass shooting at Disneyland, have been killed by police during a shootout near Glendale, California. However, police continue to shelter in place, as there is still a large amount of sarin gas still in the air. It is unknown when the shelter-in-place order will be lifted, but it may take a week for life to return to normal. Continue to monitor local media outlets for more information on the situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Metropolitan Police Department. Shots have been fired inside the White House. At approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, an armed man carrying a semi-automatic rifle has entered the building, and has taken President Joe Biden, his wife Jill, Vice President Elizabeth Warren, and the President's cabinet hostage during a cabinet meeting. He is threatening to kill all of the hostages, including assassinating the President, if his demands are not met. It is likely that this is the work of the natural-born killers of America, since they were responsible for attacks in New York City, Chicago, and Los Angeles over the last 3 days. In addition, the suspect is rumored to be Matthew Davis, who hacked into all news stations across the United States, and was threatening to kill the President of the United States. This cannot be confirmed at this time. Police have arrived at the scene to deal with this situation. As a precaution, the White House will be placed under lockdown until further notice. All roads within a half-mile radius of the White House have been closed to the public until further notice. The only people allowed in this area are police and emergency services. Do not enter this area under any circumstances. If you do so, you will be arrested, or held in detention without legal counsel. All residents of Washington, D.C. should stay away from the White House at this time, and remain vigilant. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this developing situation. National Information Center Statement. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Government, and the Department of Homeland Security. At approximately 3:27 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have received word that President Joe Biden has been assassinated inside the White House. He suffered a gunshot wound to the chest, and was killed instantly. In addition, his wife, Vice President Elizabeth Warren, and the rest of his cabinet were also shot and killed. Due to this, the presidential line of succession has been ordered, and officials of the United States federal government have been assumed the powers of the president. The Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, is now the 47th President of the United States. In addition, the assassin has been identified as 32-year-old Matthew Davis, a white male, 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighs 200 pounds, has a muscular build, with brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, blue jeans, black tennis shoes, a blue Los Angeles Dodgers baseball cap, and was wearing black sunglasses. This suspect is still at large, and is considered armed and extremely dangerous. He has escaped the White House, and is currently roaming around Washington, D.C. with blood covering his shirt and hands. As a precaution, all residents of Washington, D.C. are strongly advised to remain in your homes and lock all windows and doors. Do not approach this man, as he will kill anyone on sight. Please stay tuned to local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
This is CNN Breaking News.
This is CNN Breaking News. I am your host Kevin Mitchell. We unfortunately have some heartbreaking news coming out of the White House. At approximately 3:27 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, President Joe Biden has been assassinated inside the White House. According to the Washington Post, 32-year-old Matthew Davis, the leader of the domestic terrorist organization the Natural Born Killers of America, entered the White House and took the president, his wife, and his cabinet hostage. Then, he proceeded to shoot the president in the chest, killing him instantly. In addition, we are also receiving more heartbreaking news that Vice President Elizabeth Warren, Jill Biden, and the rest of Biden's cabinet have also been shot and killed. The presidential line of succession has been ordered, and members of the federal government are now assuming the powers of the president. Effective immediately, the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, has been sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. He is expected to speak to the nation tonight about the death of Joe Biden and his accomplishments on the United States. Many people across the United States are mourning his death, with some calling him a true American hero and a great leader of a great country. His funeral is expected to be held Wednesday, July 19th at the Washington National Cathedral. Several former presidents are expected to be in attendance, including Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. Millions are expected to tune in here on CNN for the service. This is the first president to be assassinated since John F. Kennedy in November 1963. We here at CNN would like to say, rest in power, Joe. We hope you have a great time in heaven. In addition, Matthew Davis escaped the White House after killing the president and the cabinet, and is roaming around Washington, D.C. at this time. A nationwide manhunt is underway for Davis. People have said if Davis is killed, they will celebrate, and also said he should burn in hell, and get punished by the devil for his actions. This will feel similar when Osama bin Laden was killed back in 2011. People have called Davis a traitor who betrayed our great country, and cowardly killing the president. He is being called the worst human being to ever exist, going as far as being worse than Adolf Hitler. This is just unbelievable. Our country is facing an unprecedented situation with a president being killed in office. We will update you with more information when it becomes available. This is Kevin Mitchell, signing off.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. This is Kevin McCarthy, your new President of the United States. These last 3 days have featured some of the worst terrorist attacks to happen in our country since the September 11, 2001 attacks. On Thursday, July 13, 5 terrorists caused a mass shooting at Yankee Stadium during a Major League Baseball game between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. They took multiple hostages during the game as well. In that shooting, 15 were confirmed dead, with 300 injured. They also planted a propane bomb which exploded at the Grand Central Terminal, killing 30 and injuring about 200. The worst part about this attack in New York City was that these 5 men detonated a nuclear bomb in Midtown Manhattan. The entire city was destroyed, and hundreds have been killed or injured in the blast. We have always feared for decades that nuclear warfare would be used in this country, from the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, and many other nuclear scares throughout the Cold War. Then, on Friday, July 14th, 5 additional terrorists stormed Chicago City Hall and took 50 people hostage, including Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Then, they detonated a biological weapon near Millennium Park. This biological weapon contained a highly contagious virus, similar to viruses like the cold, COVID-19, and the flu. It caused an outbreak in northeast Illinois, northwest Indiana, and southeastern Wisconsin. The virus infected thousands, and killed approximately 250 to 500 people. Then, on Saturday, July 15th, more terrorists caused a mass shooting at the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim, taking hundreds of people hostage. 30 people have been killed, with 400 people injured. Then, they killed more people during a high-speed pursuit with the California Highway Patrol, causing multiple car accidents that killed or injured dozens of civilians, due to them shooting at any motorists that were traveling on Interstate 5 north towards Los Angeles. They also released sarin gas in downtown Los Angeles, which is one of the most toxic substances towards humans. Approximately 250 people were killed due to sarin exposure, with thousands more injured. Then, today, on July 16th, was one of the most heartbreaking days in our country's history. The leader of the terrorist cell who caused all of these attacks, Matthew Davis, took our former president, Joe Biden, along with his wife, Vice President Elizabeth Warren, and the rest of his cabinet hostage inside the White House during a cabinet meeting. Unfortunately, I have some extremely sad news to report. At approximately 3:27 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, President Joe Biden was assassinated inside the White House. He was shot in the chest, and was killed instantly. Even worse is that Davis also shot Elizabeth Warren, Biden's wife, and the rest of his cabinet dead. Even though I am a member of the Republican Party, this is more than just politics. Biden was a great leader for our country and got us out of the coronavirus pandemic that took place from 2019 to 2022. He also changed our country by implementing laws that would restrict killing on African Americans. Rest in peace, Joe. You will be greatly missed by the citizens of the United States. A funeral for Biden and his cabinet will be held on Wednesday, July 19th at Washington National Cathedral. What is even worse is that Biden's assassin, Matthew Davis, is still at large, and a nationwide manhunt is underway for him. He is still believed to be in Washington, D.C. at this time. Overall, these last few days were nothing but terror, death, and destruction. Even worse, this terrorist cell, called the Natural Born Killers of America, is from our country, the United States of America. Who even thought that men from our own country would betray us in the most terrifying of ways, like killing civilians and detonating weapons of mass destruction in our great cities? That is what happened in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. I am worried that more attacks of this nature will take place over the next few days. Even though America is in crisis, we will rise up stronger than ever. We will kill Matthew Davis, rebuild the areas damaged from these attacks, and our country will return to normal again. Terrorism will be in this country no more. Thank you for listening to this message, and God bless America.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Metropolitan Police Department. At approximately 9:58 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Matthew Davis, the leader of the domestic terrorist cell, the natural-born killers of America, which have caused several attacks in several major cities, including New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C., has been shot and killed by police during a shootout outside the Capitol building. He suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the head and chest, killing him instantly. Due to this, the nationwide manhunt for the suspect is over, and all residents may continue your daily life. Repeating, Matthew Davis has been shot and killed by police outside of the Capitol building, and all residents may continue your daily life. The Metropolitan Police Department thank you for your cooperation during this emergency.